Google Ads lead form assets have changed quite a bit since we last recorded a video about them, so we wanted to provide an update. In this video, I will show you where lead form assets can appear and which campaign types can now use lead form assets. We'll go through the requirements that are needed in order to run and serve the lead form asset, and most importantly, we'll walk through a complete setup of how you can make your own lead asset and attach it at the campaign and account level. And then we will show you the specific account settings that are necessary, where to download the leads, and how to create a dedicated lead form campaign for your search ads. I wanted to start this video off by showing you at least one example of how a lead form asset can be used in the wild. And then we'll go over a few of the requirements of what's needed to run lead form assets in some of your campaigns. So what you're seeing on the screen right now is search results when I typed in CNC machines. There was nothing at the very top, so if you look at my scroll bar, I had to scroll down a little bit past some shopping ads. We actually see two examples here. I almost said at the bottom of the page, but there's really no bottom of the page anymore. But highlighting the search ad that we see at the top, there is an example of a lead form asset attached to this search ad. It says, "Contact us, speak with real people now." If I click on the lead form asset, and here's one option of what a lead form asset can look like. This particular account is only asking for a few fields. My name and my blurred out phone number were auto-populated. That's coming directly from the Google account. The only other information I would have to fill in would be the company name, work email, and then I could submit. Up above, we see the website, a small headline, and the ability to add an image. If I X out of this one, scroll down a little bit and look at this other option, seeing if we want to get a quote directly from the search ad. We see another image, company name, a longer introduction that could actually provide more value or set the right expectation of what I can expect after filling out the form. We'll get into more of that later. But this form asked for a few different fields. And in this case, all four were auto-populated. They're asking for the name, email, phone number, and zip code. Again, all of that was pulled from the information I have set up within my Google account settings. So in this case, you see I had to scroll down a little bit, made sure that the entire Google disclosure was visible, and then I would be able to submit. The easiest way to find examples would be in search ads, but lead form assets can appear on more campaign types than search ads. And now let's go through where lead form assets can appear and what requirements are needed in order for you to run and serve lead gen assets. As we just saw in the previous two examples, you can use lead form assets within your search ads. And just to clarify, they have to be responsive search ads. Even if you have legacy expanded text ads still running in your account, they will no longer show the lead form asset alongside it. And with search campaigns, lead forms can appear on desktop and mobile devices. Lead form assets can appear on discovery image ads. They do not show up with discovery carousel ads. For display, lead forms can appear on both desktop and mobile devices. Next, I do want to call out Performance Max, understanding that it's taking a lot of the campaign types we mentioned, combining them all into one. So make sure that you have a lead form asset at the account level. And then I saved video for last, understanding that video is also part of Performance Max, but standalone video lead form assets, they're still in beta, so you may not see them within your account. I have them in all of mine, and most of our video campaigns are running video action campaigns, and that's easy enough for us to attach our lead form assets. But if you're still not seeing it, reach out to your Google rep or support and see if you can get access. But for video campaigns, lead forms still only appear on Android mobile devices. No desktop, no iOS devices as of right now. So really, lead form assets are available to many of the campaign types offered within Google Ads. But just because they're available doesn't mean you're allowed to run them. You have to meet certain requirements first. And the first one is you have to use a conversion-focused bid strategy. We're trying to get leads here. Leads are going to be a conversion. So your maximize conversions, even enhanced CPC is still conversion focused. But when we're looking at other campaign types like display and YouTube that have brand awareness campaign objectives as an option, those don't always have conversion focused bid strategies. Some of those only offer CPM as a bid strategy. Those are focused on more brand awareness and reach and not trying to really focus on getting as many conversions as possible. So make sure that you are choosing one of the campaign goals that allow you to have a conversion-focused bid strategy. And I kind of just mentioned it, but a lead form asset completion will automatically be set up as a goal within your conversion section within Google Ads. The thing I'm calling out right here is that when you're setting up a campaign, you have to make sure that the lead form conversion that's available within Google Ads is set up within the campaign to be optimized towards that goal. And then it must be a Google hosted ad. Probably could have worded this better, but think of your display ads. You still have the ability to upload image ads where you can fully control the message. Well, Google's not going to attach a lead form asset to your display image ads that you've uploaded. You would have to use a responsive display ad so the lead form can be part of the particular ad format. And then just a few more requirements in order to run lead gen assets. You have to have a good policy compliance history. You're not constantly getting flagged for ad disapprovals, policy violations, all those sort of things. So be sure to go up to your tools and settings, check on your policy manager, and make sure that you have a good history of staying in line with Google's rules. You also cannot be in a non-sensitive vertical. So if you have an account that's sexually based, trying to promote alcohol, maybe very sensitive healthcare related type accounts, you will not be able to use lead gen forms. And then probably the easiest one, you must have a privacy policy for your business. In the first two examples that we saw, in the disclosure that Google put right above the submit button, there were links to your company's privacy policy. That's why this is a necessary step. But now that we briefly talked over some of the requirements, let's finally go into Google Ads and start creating one example of a lead gen asset. I'm in the overview section in the Paid Media Pros account, and the first thing we need to do is head on over to Ads and Assets, and then drop on down to Assets. If you already have lead form assets running, you can just click on the lead form button, and that'll segment your view just to view your lead forms, but it'll also make it easier for us when we create a new one. So I'm going to head on over to the blue plus button just so we can create a new lead form. Since I started this demo portion of the video in the overview section, I was not in a particular campaign. That's why it's defaulting to add it at the account level. And there we see in the blue box, account level lead forms are only available in Search and Performance Max campaigns. But I can go down and add the lead form just to a particular campaign. And that's the deepest we can go with a lead form asset. There's not an option to do lead forms at the ad group level like we get with a lot of the other assets. But the same rules with hierarchy applies. Any asset that's created at the campaign level will override any asset created at the account level. And for whatever reason, if your lead form asset that you create at a campaign level is disapproved, then Google may default to your account level asset that you have in place. If you have one in place, I should say. That's why we always like to set up one at the account level as a safety net. So I'm going to stick with that option. Now we already had an existing lead form created with the original lead form extension video that's out of date, but that's not why we came here. I'm going to create a new one. And this is going to be the first part about creating the lead form asset. First, you will need a 30-character headline. Next, you have 25 characters to enter your business name. If your company or business name is more than 25 characters, I'm sorry, you're going to have to get clever. You can do what we saw in the very first example of this video, and that company used their website instead of the company name. And then you get 200 characters for a description. The second example we saw in the beginning of the video did a much better job of utilizing the description. I just pasted in my personal belief on how we like to utilize these lead form descriptions for our clients. But you could have something else in mind. Even if a good chunk of the information could be auto-populated, the user still has to go and submit the form. So we like to include a message that either builds trust or showcases value on why this offer is good enough for you to give us your information. But once you have the 3 intro fields all completed, we can now go down and look at our form field options. We see in the preview off to the right, the 2 default options are full name and email. But we see there are more options than just those 2. So yes, I'm still going to click on name, and this is the part I really like because we have certain clients that have a CRM where they need the first name and last name separate. Google will still auto-populate both of those. Of course, we'll want email, but if you don't want the user's personal email, you can try to collect their work email. This option is not pre-filled, but for a lot of our B2B and lead gen clients, we like to use this option because it forces the user to pay attention, it makes them work a little bit, and we see better lead quality come through because the people who are more willing to work for the lead form submission are more qualified for the most part. I know I jumped ahead a little bit, but we see city, zip code, your state or province, the country, and then back down to more work information. Maybe you want company name. Maybe you want the work phone number. An optional job title could be another lead qualifying aspect of are you actually talking to the decision maker or a lower level employee? And then depending on your industry or what type of company you are, asking if they're over a certain age. Sometimes we do this we want to make sure that if we're sending a user an email that they're at a proper age, or in a few different accounts, we actually were running contests. encouraging people to sign up via these lead forms. And legally, they had to be of a certain age. Pretty sure the minimum age is 18 anyway. Yeah, see? So for the most part, from an adult standpoint, you're covered. I'm going to uncheck this one. Next, and this is the part that I think is really cool on Google's side, you can start looking at certain qualifying questions, and they are broken out depending on what industry your account is in. Let me just go for general first. Would you recommend this vehicle, this service, this product? Funny enough, they seem pretty car focused still. Let's go to business. What size is your company? What is your job role? Annual sales volume? A ton of information depending on what industry you're in to just try to collect more qualifying information. It can also help your salespeople to understand who they're talking to and what their needs may be. Let's do technology. Who are your current providers? That whole sort of thing. Now I want to go up to new questions. And again, there we see another variety. So I will admit, it doesn't offer you the full custom ability like lead forms can do on LinkedIn, where you can really create your own custom questions. However, this is definitely better than nothing if you really focus on getting quality leads over quantity. But for now, I'm just going to close this out. And then let me go grab our website's privacy policy URL. Come back and paste it in. We're good there. And next, we can add an image. I'll just pick one from our asset library. If you're not familiar with the asset library, we have a video about it right here. Crop it if you need to, but I just want to keep moving. Good enough for me. Let's save it. That's how the image plays into the lead form asset. And then we can move on to the next part, which is creating the submission message after the user has filled out the form and clicked the submit button. You can see we can jump straight to the section within the preview. We get 30 more characters for the submission headline, an additional 200 characters for the description. Just paste it in something generic here, but we like to use this to set expectations. Either verify when you're going to get back to the user, or if you're doing something like a contest, like I said before, let them know what you're going to do with their information. A very common thing that we do for many of our clients is promote PDFs, ebooks, white papers, those sort of thing. If that's what you were promoting in your offer, they submitted their information. Maybe your description is, thank you for your interest in our white paper. Click on the link below to download it. So in the call to action URL, I would put the link of where they would go and download it on the website. Maybe go up and change the call to action to be one of these options, and that's an easy enough step. In this case, we're talking about getting an audit for your account. So we would still have to reach out to them, but still give people the option to visit our website to learn more. The funny part is I just pasted paidmediapros.com, but Google defaulted to the non-secure version. So let's fix that for Google. Now, the funny part is Google makes you hop around a little bit because this particular call to action is just for the form submission. We still need one for the ad itself. So I go all the way up. We get a decent amount, but it's still limited. We cannot create a custom option. So it's the typical sign up, subscribe, join now, get a quote, book now, apply now. Nothing too different. And then type in a call to action description for 30 characters. We will keep the message fairly simple to the headline that we use and then the actual lead form, just to make the user comfortable that what they clicked on is the right offer that they were interested in. Now, there are going to be two ways that you'll be able to export the leads once a user has filled it in. And if I scroll down a little bit, there are ways that you can automatically export your leads directly out of Google Ads. In this case, if you haven't done it already within the linked accounts section in your tools and settings, you can search for your third-party integration, create the Zapier link, and then export it within a variety of different ways. Looking at other integration options, you can look at setting up a webhook integration, and I have no problem admitting I have zero clue on how to do this. So if you want to use a webhook where it's automatically sent to your CRM without using Zapier, make sure to click on the Learn More button. But the other option will be to manually download the leads. That's something we'll show you right after we save this form. You can see the leads will only live in Google Ads for 30 days before they're permanently removed and you won't be able to get them back. We personally like to use Zapier with our clients. And that way you won't be delayed on getting back to users and that information will automatically be imported into your CRM. But then the last thing we see before saving the lead form will be importing the conversions. Since this is a demo account, it's not something where we have a CRM hooked up to it, but you can look at sharing the information. Not something we really need to worry about right now, so I'm just going to save the lead form asset. After you have a lead form asset saved, we see the blue CSV links down below. Here is where you'll be able to download your leads. There will be a different column header for each of the form field that you have created for that particular lead form asset. But not everyone with access to your account will have the ability to download the leads manually. Whether it's an individual, client, or manager account, that person will need to have standard or admin access in order to download the leads from these assets. But just like any asset that you create within Google Ads, you'll be able to review performance, update certain columns to see what metrics are important to you. So that is why we recommend, if possible, and if you have the creative and assets to do so, test a few different lead forms at a time. See which message is more appealing to the users you're targeting in the given campaign. You'll learn a lot quicker than just doing one lead form asset at a time. If you're looking at editing your lead form asset, if I click on the pencil, we can update some of the main description and business information, but once you save a lead form, your form fields cannot be changed. Sounds like a lot of the paid social platforms. So you would need to go and create a brand new lead form asset if you do want to do additional testing or add or remove any other fields. It's unfortunate, but it's not too hard to create a new one. Okay, there's just a couple more things I want to show you. So the next thing that's important will be within settings, and then go to your account settings. We do have another video talking about all the account settings. You can check that one here. And I probably should have mentioned this in the requirements before, but I honestly forgot. Before you run any lead form assets, you need to make sure that you have the lead form terms accepted. Again, that's going to be in your account settings. I'm highlighted over the row right now. It's pretty much Google putting the onus on you that you will be honest with the information you're collecting. You're not going to sell any of the information, all of that stuff. So go ahead and read it yourself, accept the terms, and then you'll be eligible to use lead form assets within your ads. And the last thing I want to show you is how you can use lead form assets as the main goal action for search campaigns. So to do this, I'm going to start creating a new campaign. In this case, of course, our objective would be leads. Confirm that you have the lead form asset goal conversion added here, and then click continue. In this case, it has to be a search campaign. This involves just responsive search ads. And then for the ways that you'd like to reach your goal, choose lead form submissions. After you name your campaign, click continue, and then you would go through the rest of the campaign setup. You can see it says add a lead form on the next step. So here's what happens when you only have this box checked for your search campaigns. Every time a user clicks on your responsive search ad, the lead form asset will be the only action a user can do. They will not land on whatever you have set as the final URL within the ad. If you just want your lead form to be an additional part, like a true extension to your responsive search ad, either don't check any of these or check the lead form submissions and any of the other four. But I did want to let you know that there is a way to create true dedicated lead form search ads if you are choosing the lead campaign objective. We see the most impressions from this asset coming from search ads. Typically have more search ads than any other campaign type in our accounts. Plus, they can appear on both desktop and mobile. But overall, they do get less impression share than many of the other assets like site links and callouts. We've seen them work the best with higher level actions, like downloading white paper, those sort of things. If you have a higher ticket item, asking for the demo right away may not work the best, but it's certainly worth testing. If you have any other questions on how lead assets work, how to set them up, or maybe some ideas of how to use them for your particular business, let us know in the comments below.
Thanks for watching our video. We really appreciate it. If you liked it, give us a thumbs up below. If you really liked it, maybe think about subscribing to the Paid Media Pros YouTube channel and you'll get alerted every time a new video drops.
If you really liked it, you can help support the channel by checking out some of the t-shirts that we're wearing on our merch shelf, as well as looking at the Super Thanks button.